Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep is the maker of premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to suit your needs, and they're shipped right to your doorstep. We've had our Helix Sleep mattress now for almost a year and we love it. We're getting great sleep. It is a huge improvement to our last mattress, which sadly, while it served us well, it needed to be retired. Our new Helix mattress is customized to our needs. I took the Helix Sleep quiz. I happen to be a side sleeper. I like a medium to a firm mattress, and I share my bed with my husband. The quiz takes this all into account and recommended a mattress. We were matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe, and we've been loving it. Our backs feel supported, yet the top is really squishy and soft, and we've been getting really great sleep. Our kids also sleep on Helix mattresses and they love them. They love being in a full-size twin bed. It makes them feel super grown up and they're getting great sleep as well. Besides being a really comfortable mattress, what I really like about Helix Sleep mattresses is that they arrive in a cardboard box, so it's really super easy to maneuver in tight spaces, and I was able to install the mattress myself. Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. If you're not happy with your mattress, they'll pick it up and give you a full refund. Also, if you live in the US, there's free delivery and your mattress comes very conveniently packaged, rolled up in a cardboard box. So if you'd like to try Helix Sleep for yourself, click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to see how you can receive up to $200 off your mattress, along with 2 free pillows and free shipping within the US. Big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. So the holidays are practically here, and for me it means gathering with family, it means gingerbreading with Grammy, it means putting up a tree, and all the wonderful things and beautiful traditions that we hold true and make the holidays special. And for so many of us, that involves food and cooking and baking in particular. Today I'm going to be taking a recipe that I found in this classic tome, The Joy of Cooking by Irma S. Rombauer, Marion Rombauer Becker, and Ethan Becker. This is a classic. It's one of the first cookbooks I ever owned. This would make a phenomenal gift for anyone that's interested in cooking or baking. I've baked a lot of things, especially in this book, and they've been great. Lots of classics. I've had this for a long time. It's a former library book. I found it at a book sale years ago, and this one has a recipe for 14-in-1 master recipe. It claims that with this master dough recipe, cookie dough recipe, that I can make 14 variations of cookies, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Make one dough, and then I can make all the assorted cookies that I want from that dough. Absolutely brilliant. But then when I looked more carefully at the suggested cookies, which are right here, I noticed that, for example, these spice cookies involve substituting the white sugar that's in the recipe for packed light brown sugar. For the chocolate recipe, it says to take out some of the flour and put some cocoa powder, which to me sort of defeats the whole purpose of the master recipe. Like the master recipe, I'm supposed to take this base and be able to make a ton of other cookies. That's my idea of a master recipe. So that's what I'm going to be attempting today. I'm going to tweak and adapt this recipe to make 5 recipes from one master dough recipe, with the goal that by the end of this project, I should have a selection of cookies that I could give away from one batch of dough. So that is the goal today, and let's go ahead and get started. So one thing that's interesting about this recipe is that it calls for super fine sugar. It says that it makes for a lighter cookie, but it's not a sugar that you find pretty readily at the grocery store, but it gives you a great workaround. You just take regular granulated sugar and buzz it around in your food processor for about 30 seconds until you get something that has this consistency. It's like very fine sand. I'm gonna plug this in, make sure that the power strip is turned on, because I often forget to do that. First thing we're gonna need is some butter. This has been sitting out on the counter, room temperature, although here in New England, it's a little bit chilly today. Can you believe it? I actually remember to leave the butter out. I'm not trying to microwave it in the microwave for once. Proud of me. I'm gonna add some salt. I'm gonna break up my butter first a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my sugar and we're gonna beat this until it's light and fluffy. 1 large egg yolk, boop. 1 egg. Now we're gonna add some vanilla. I'm using vanilla paste, but feel free to use vanilla extract. This is just what I happen to have. That's why it's so thick. Now we're going to add in our flour. I'm gonna do this in a couple batches. I'm gonna switch over to my Danish whisk. All we need to do is just incorporate the flour. Now I'm using my impeccably clean hands just so I can get this into a dough to kind of tidy up as I go along, especially when you're working in a small space. I find if you can clean up as you go along, I feel less overwhelmed. I'm going to be making 5 different types of cookies, and 2 of them are just going to use this plain formulation. For 1/5, I'm going to make peanut butter cookies. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Now the recipe says the addition of peanut butter is going to add more fat. The cookie is going to have a more sandy, kind of lighter, crumblier texture, which is sort of signature to a peanut butter cookie anyways, right? Now if you want to make these peanut butter chocolate chip, then of course add chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, peanut butter chips, but I'm sticking with just plain old peanut butter. So with all these doughs, before we shape them and bake them, we're going to let them refrigerate for at least an hour. We're just going to roll these into a ball and take the tines of a fork and just press them cross-hatched so we can get that classic peanut butter cookie shape. To bake these, we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees for 6 to 8 minutes, or until the edges are just golden. Then cool them off onto a rack just for a moment, and then when they're firmed up, you can scoop them off and let them cool completely. Next, we're making double chocolate. I've got 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder here. This is really dark Dutch processed cocoa powder. Just work that in. I'm using a combination of semi-sweet and milk chocolate chips. Dump those in. Feel free to customize these doughs as you would like. So this too, we're going to refrigerate for an hour before we bake them. Just use a spoon and make little rounded tablespoons of dough. Bake them at 375 for 6 to 8 minutes, and then allow them to cool on a rack. Now for the plain doughs, we're going to take 1 portion of the dough and roll them into balls about 1 inch in size. Then take your thumb or the back of a wooden spoon and make an indentation and put in about a ½ teaspoon of strawberry jam or any jam that you like. Then bake them at 375 for 6 to 8 minutes or until the cookies are golden. For the other portion of the dough, we're going to roll it out between 2 pieces of parchment paper. Then use some cookie cutters and cut them out to your desired shapes. Bake them at 375 for 6 to 8 minutes and allow them to cool on a rack. You can ice these if you like, you can keep them plain, or you can very simply just dip them in a little bit of melted chocolate and add a few sprinkles. And for our last cookie, we're going to add a little bit of spice. So I'm going to add about a ½ teaspoon of molasses, pinch of clove, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, heaping 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then mix this up as well. So after refrigerating, we're going to roll this dough out between 2 pieces of parchment paper until it's about 1/4 inch thick, a little bit thinner. Then cut them out using a cookie cutter. Bake them at 375 for 6 to 8 minutes or until they are golden on the edges, and allow them to cool on a rack. All right, my lovelies, I am back. I've baked all of the cookies, and now it's time to pack up a little tin. This is a tin that my neighbor brought me. I'm gonna fill it back up with cookies and then give it back to her. So great, I love this time of year. It's so great that 1 batch of dough with slight little tweaking can create so many cookies. All right, I'm gonna stack up some jam cookies, some chocolate cookies. Look how cute those turned out. And here's our finished tin of cookies. Look how stinking cute. 1 batch of dough. We've got 5 different types of cookies. So this recipe makes enough cookies to fill this box with a few left over to taste. Peanut butter first. Here's a peanut butter one with the classic fork time printing. Itadakimasu. Full of peanut butter, lightly sweet. With that signature sandy texture without being too dry. Let's try the chocolate one. And that's what that one looks like on the inside. Mmm. Rich and fudgy. That amount of chocolate in there, so good. Look. Yeah. So the chocolate cookie is much thicker than the peanut butter cookie. It's much denser and has a really great fudgy texture to it. Let's try the thumbprint cookie. This is filled with homemade strawberry jam and a classic. So another classic combination of jammy strawberry combined with that backdrop of a plain sugar cookie that's a little bit vanilla and buttered. I love that combination. Reminds me of strawberry pokey and Pop-Tarts, you know. Next, I'm gonna try this one. This is the classic sugar cookie. I cut it out just to see how this dough would hold up. This is a very sturdy dough. The dough did not spread at all, and it's really good for cutting out intricate shapes like this. I just topped these with a few nonpareils before I bake them, and they're super cheery and cute. There you go. So I've never made this cookie dough before, but I like it because it's not overly sweet. I think this would be particularly good for icing sugar, glazes, or royal icing treatment, because that tends to be so very sweet in my opinion. And this cookie, because it's lightly sweetened, I think would be the perfect background for it. And lastly, let's taste the spice cookie. And I put some big crystals of unrefined sugar on top of that for a little bit of crunch. So here we go. If you haven't, I definitely recommend adding the sugar on top. It gives it a great crunch, and like I said earlier, the dough is not overly sweet, so it can handle the little bit of extra sugar. But the texture is so much fun. I think this might be my favorite one, surprisingly. I was about to say chocolate, but I love the combination of spices. Again, it reminds me of the holidays, and that crunchy sugar on top. Yum. Now I just need a cup of tea. So there you have it, my lovelies. That's how you can take one recipe of cookie dough and make an entire collection of cookies. Almost forgot to mention my new shirt, Itadakimasu, link down below. Thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try Helix Sleep for yourself, click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to see how you can receive up to $200 off your new mattress, along with 2 free pillows and free shipping. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Check out my website. I will include a printable recipe, and I shall see you in the next video. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Nonpareil, nonpareil.